Soldier of Fortune Payback, the third game in a series that had made a name for itself by placing an emphasis on graphic gore, over-the-top action, and decapitations and dismemberments, was released in 2007. Published by Activision and developed by Bratislava-based studio Cauldron HQ, this was the first game to see a release on the PS3 and Xbox 360, as well as the PC. And, while the first two games in the series were largely positively received, despite some controversy surrounding the levels of violence, Payback was met with a mediocre response from critics. In Payback, you take on the role of Thomas Mason, a gun-for-hire who starts the game out on a mission to evacuate Quan Li, a Chinese diplomat, from an Iraqi town alongside a comrade named Colonel Miller. The story is told through a pretty uninspired mission briefing sequence of pictures and other intel, and not a whole lot else. You're given the option to pick which tools of destruction to start the mission with, and then you're plonked straight into the action. Miller throws some sass in your direction and the killing begins.
Get your ass over here, kid!
After gunning down 100 or so terrorists, you track down Lee, but rather than saving him from the random car he's seemingly been hiding in for God knows how long, Colonel Miller kills him very, very dead. It's an act of betrayal, but it doesn't feel very important, having never really been introduced to any of the characters involved, including the one you're playing as.
What the fuck are you doing? We were supposed to protect him.
No, you were.
What are you?
Can't you guess? We're paid soldiers. I just got paid more to switch teams.
Miller then turns his gun on you, and just when he's about to kill you...
I just wish I could feel bad for killing you.
He doesn't, and he just runs away instead. Is it finally time for the payback mentioned in the game's subtitle? I guess so, because you run after him, shoot him with about 100 bullets, and he's dead. That was quick. In terms of story, the rest of the game has you chasing down bad guy after bad guy in an effort to stop the bad guys behind Miller's betrayal and uncover their true intentions. At least, I think that's the plot. It's about as paper thin as a really thin piece of paper, and really only there to serve you up terrorist after terrorist to pump full of lead. So what about the shooting then? Well, it feels solid enough. The guns look and sound the part, but the action is let down by a choppy frame rate and non-existent AI. Instead of populating the levels with trained killers who can flank and take cover to try and outsmart you, you get these goons who would rather run straight at you waving their guns around than find a crafty place to take a shot at you. And the game tries to solve this lack of enemy AI in two ways: randomly spawn enemies ad nauseum and put them in places that make them difficult to spot, like behind a plant or in a place where they didn't exist a second or two ago. Take this bridge section for example. As I attempted to cross it, enemies continued to appear from nowhere, only for me to mow them down with an unending spray of bullets. Even when I thought I'd gotten them all. Where did this guy come from? It's still fun for a bit though, and the violence the series is known for is there in full effect. I was particularly taken with the just been shot in the groin animation. So much so that the next time it happened I chose to perform a mercy decapitation rather than witness the poor guy writhing around in agony. Bullets and grenades alike will launch severed limbs in all directions, and there is definitely the occasional adrenaline rush to be found amid the repetitive chaos. There isn't much in the way of cutscenes or mission objectives to keep you motivated to play on though, and after shooting my way through about 45 minutes of murder, I was finally treated to this cutscene. I think I'll let it speak for itself.
No hurt me.
Take it easy. I'm not going to hurt you. Do you speak any English?
No English. Speak very small English.
God damn, I need to get to that pipeline, and
Pipeline?
Yeah, you understand pipeline?
Pipeline. Yes, pipeline.
What is this? Some sort of key card?
This card. Make it go up, go down.
The key card is to an elevator. Okay, I gotcha. No language barrier there.
And then there's the bugs. These can range from entertaining irregularities like this fellow who really wanted to move in one particular direction, not letting cars, barrels or even walls deter him, only for me to put him out of his misery with my shotgun. And there's the more annoying issues that can range from getting stuck in the scenery to whatever the hell this is, to getting stuck in a checkpoint of death that ultimately forced me to restart the level. Even when the game is running somewhat normally, you'll still be battling against a choppy frame rate, spontaneously spawning enemies, and graphics that look washed out and are comprised of ugly greys and browns. When this released in 2007, it must have been a hard shooter to recommend against titles like Bioshock, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and Halo 3. And it's still a hard game to recommend today, but maybe if you just want to sit down for an afternoon and blast people apart without having to think too hard, this might be worth a look. Or maybe you just like blood, and in that case you'll be very happy. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be back next week with another video from the Random Game Room.